Hey, what's up? It's Jordan. So today I want to talk to you about 3 very important skills that you need to know if you want to be successful, and they definitely apply to millennials. And number 2 is probably going to surprise you. So the first one, and probably the most obvious, is financial sanity. Notice I didn't say that you need to be a successful, financial guru. You don't need to be the next Warren Buffett. You don't need to be an amazing investor. You just need to be smart. You need to be not insane with your money, okay? So stop being stupid with your money. Now, what does that mean? It means spending more than you actually have. It means using credit cards to rack up debt because you don't understand how money works. Money is a very interesting topic, and it's complicated. And people think that they understand it, just like people think that they're the best driver on the road, but in reality, they're not, and you don't. So take a little bit to fully understand how money works, especially with credit cards, because credit cards get a lot of people in a lot of trouble. I actually made an entire video about credit cards. You can check it out right here, or you can check the link in the description if that annotation is not working. Also important under financial sanity would be budgeting. All right, now I know what you're thinking. Well, Jordan, I don't want to set a budget. I already have a budget. I don't want to do that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you want to work at McDonald's, spend everything that you make for the rest of your life, and die dead broke, be my guest. You can stop watching this video right now. But if you actually want to do something with your life, be financially secure, be financially sane, then keep watching. What you need to be doing is budgeting out your money so that you're able to put back at least 25% of your income. All right, at least 25% of the money that you make. And I know you're thinking, whoa, I really can't do that. There's no way, I only make, a few $1,000s a month, and I spend it on, I got rent, I got food, I got insurance, I got bills. Okay, I get it. You got a lot of expenses. How about trying to lower those expenses? That's right, maybe move out of wherever you're living into a smaller apartment, or maybe get some roommates in a house and only pay a few $100s for rent a month. There's things that you can do to lower your expenses. Now, on top of that, how about you raise your income? All right. Now, I'm going to talk about how you can increase your income in a second, because that's very important. And I've also done a ton of videos on how to make more money, but that's not what this video is about. This is about applicable skills that you need. So how can you budget properly? Well, I personally use a program called Mint, and Mint is the best program that I have found to budget your money properly. All right, you hook up all your accounts, you connect everything together, and then it will tell you every dollar that comes into your account, every dollar that goes out of your account. And guess what? You better be saving at least 25% of your income. Now, I personally am able to save 80–90% of the money that I make. That's because I've built up other income streams on top of just a normal job, and I'm able to put back all of that money. The last thing under financial sanity, and this is something that a lot of people get wrong, they'll understand that they need to budget, they'll understand that they need to save money, but they won't save it right. All right, you cannot. All right, write this down, put it on a sticky note, put it on your mirror, read this every day for the rest of your life. You cannot, you will not put your money in a savings account at your bank. You want to know why? I'll show you right here on this spreadsheet. So here's your savings account right here, all right? And on average, you can get about 0.06%. All right, I even pulled up an article from Google that shows that that's pretty accurate. In fact, some banks offer 0.01%. And you might be thinking, oh wow, 0.01%, that's better than 0%, right? Haha, yeah, I guess it is, but it's also terrible. It's also the worst thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. So let's assume that you're able to get a job that pays you like, I don't know, $10 an hour, and you work, let's say you work overtime, all right? You work hard. You're working 50 hours a week, 50, 60 hours a week, okay? So you're able to make $2,000 a month. That might be a lot for some people, and I understand that. But you need to be able to make that income, all right? And if you can't make $2,000 a month, maybe you can only make $1,500 a month. You still need to be saving 25% of your income, at least. The more the merrier. The more money you can put back, the better and easier your entire life is going to be, okay? So you're investing $500 a month, $6,000 a year, right? 500 a month, $6,000 a year. You start year 1 or year 0, I guess, dead broke, right? You have no money. First year, you put in $6,000. This is into your savings account. This is what we're going to look at first. Into your savings account, you're putting back $6,000. By year 30, you have $181,000. Well, that's cool, right? Right? $180,000 in 30 years? No, it's not cool. It's terrible. And it's actually worse because here's inflation. Inflation eats away at your money at 3.22% on average every year. All right? So after 30 years, inflation, if your account was adjusted for inflation, which banks aren't, all right, your savings account is not adjusted for inflation, you're at almost $300,000, which means you actually lost over $100,000. You are negative $114,000 because you decided to keep your money in a savings account. Real smart. So just don't do it. Just don't put your money in a savings account. I don't even have a savings account. I don't have a savings account, guys. Seriously, I don't. Because they're terrible. They're awful, all right? So anything that's less than inflation is going to lose money over time. So just don't do it. Let's look at another more ideal scenario where you decide to invest in the stock market. Whoa, Jordan, the stock market? That's like gambling. See, I know not to gamble because gambling is bad and you lose money. As true as that is, gambling is a terrible way to spend your money. You never want to gamble. Gamble is just, I'm not even going to get into gambling. I'm not even going to get into it, okay? But the stock market is not gambling as long as you know what you're doing, all right? So just learn how the stock market works and then invest in stock indices, which is way better, like the S&P 500, leaving you 7% every single year on average for the past century, all right? So same scenario, you start with zero, you're investing $6,000 every year, and then after 30 years, you're at $566,000. And this is adjusted for inflation, which means we don't have to subtract out inflation. It's included, all right? So we actually have $566,000, which is pretty good, right? That's probably enough for maybe some people to retire on. Maybe not, because it's still not that much money. So how can we get more money? Well, let's say we find another investment that's 20%, and I'll get into what kind of investments that you can use to get those kinds of returns. Let's assume 20%. Same thing, we're only putting back $6,000 a year. What's this? After just 20 years, we've made $1 million. Okay, so we're a millionaire now. That's pretty cool. All right, after just 10 more years, after we make our first million, we're at $7 million. All right, notice this year, the year between 29 and 30, we got over $1 million. Over $1 million right here. Okay, so you let that keep stacking year after year, and it just grows and grows and grows. But how can we find an investment that returns 20%? And that leads me to number 2 on the list of important skills that you should acquire. And that is basic technological skills. All right, skills like programming, web design, anything that has to do with a computer, because as you probably know, everything that goes on in the world today is handled electronically, and it's only going to get more electronic as time goes on, and the people that understand how that works are going to be in very high need. They're going to be valuable. Those skills are going to be valuable. So learn how to program a basic web page. That's where you can start. All right? If you don't know anything about programming, that's the best place to start. And what I highly recommend is a website called w3schools.com. So they have a ton of different tutorials, and they show you how to code and do all sorts of different stuff. I really recommend everyone learns at least the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, those are the kind of the big 3 that are important when you're programming a website. All right, and this website will teach you all of it. W3 Schools will teach you everything that you need to know. So what you can do is you can actually click try it yourself, and it'll come up in this cool little window where you can actually change and edit this. All right, so if we just change the text here, we can just say hi, and then we can change the color to blue or something like that. And when we click run, look, it changes it over here. So this is a really powerful program that I use whenever I learned HTML and CSS and JavaScript. And so that's why I'm recommending it to everybody out there. And it's not just programming, okay? It's other applicable, important skills that you can sell other people, all right? So like I went to college for engineering. I became proficient in engineering, and I was able to sell those skills to an employer. Right? Anytime that you learn something in college, if you're getting a job after college, they're buying your skills from you. They're paying you to do a job because you have a skill set that they need. So you need to continue to do that. Even if you're graduated from college, if you're not going to college, even if you're in college right now, continue acquiring new, valuable skills, all right? So they need to be valuable. It can't be just useless skills that no one cares about. Valuable skills that people need and will need in the future. That is my second piece of advice to all millennials out there, is that you need to acquire valuable skills. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't have any money to pay to go to college, or I don't know how I can acquire these skills, and I don't understand what to learn, I don't understand what I need to do, oh geez, wow. Here's what you do. You go to a website called google.com, then you type in how to whatever it is that you want to learn how to do, then you press enter, and then you read the entire first page, all the articles, just read them all, and then if you still don't understand it, read the second page, read the third page, read, learn how to do it. That's the best way to learn a new skill set, is to just get in there and do it. And if you're really smart, then you will just pay someone that's already done what you want to do and have them tell you everything that they know about how to do it. And that's exactly what all successful people do. They find someone that's already done what they're trying to do, and they go to them and say, hey, I'll pay you this much money if you just show me how to do all of this. And then they're like, sure, that sounds fine. They show them how to do it, and now you know how to do it. And then you go do it, and then you make money doing it. All right? Because you just acquired a valuable skill that no one can take away from you. That's something that you have in your brain. You learned how to do it. It's not something that can be taken away from you. Unless you hit your head really hard and you get amnesia and you forget everything. In that case, that's just really unfortunate, and I'm sorry. So the very last thing, but it's certainly not least, number 3 is humility. Now, I know you're probably thinking, Jordan, that's not really an applicable skill. That's not going to help me make money. That's not going to help me be successful, blah, 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 blah. I've studied a lot of successful people over the years, and all of them portray humility. That is one of the personality traits that every successful person has. And I know that might not seem like that on the outside. People may be bragging, showing off their cars and their houses and saying they're the best and, oh, look at me, I'm so cool. But they have inward humility. All right? They're willing to learn from other people. They understand that their world is not the center of everybody else's. That everybody else out there has their own life, and they're worried about their own problems, and they don't really care what you're doing. They don't really care how much money you're making. They don't care really anything about you. And as hard as that is for some people to hear, it's a reality that you need to understand. You need to understand how to be humble. All right? Being humble is a very important quality in being successful, because you focus on yourself. And you stop focusing on trying to impress other people. You stop focusing on what other people are doing and, oh, look at them, they're so successful, in trying to show off to everybody. You focus on what you're doing, you focus on your own success, and you get there. Because you're not doing it for anybody but yourself, and that's the most important part. So stay humble, my friends, and thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.